Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavate Uttamaśloke
Bhagavate Uttamaśloke.
Bhaktin Bhavadirnaishtiki
Bhaktin Bhavadirnaishtiki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Vipulī
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nandagopakumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for our morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, text number 51. 2751. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions. So the slogan number is 51. Please repeat the slogan behind me. Idaṁ bhagavatam nāma
Idam bhagavatam nāma.
yanme bhagavatoditam
Yanme bhagavatoditam.
saṅgraho ayam vibhūtīnāṁ
Saṅgraho.
ayam vibhūtīnāṁ
tvam etad vipulī kuru.
Tvam
tvam
etad.
vipulī kuru.
Word by word meaning. Please repeat behind me. Idaṁ.
Idam.
This.
This.
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam.
The signs of Godhead.
Signs of
The
Godhead.
signs of Godhead.
Nāma.
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 Of the name.
Of the name.
Of the name.
Yad.
Yet.
Yet.
That which.
At which.
That which.
Me.
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 Unto me.
Unto me.
Unto me.
Bhagavata.
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavata.
By the personality of Godhead.
By the personality of Godhead.
Uditam.
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 Enlightenment.
Enlightened.
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 Saṅgrahaḥ.
Saṅgraha.
In the accumulation of.
Is the accumulation of.
Accumulation of.
Ayam.
Ayam.
His.
Is.
Vibhūtīnāṁ.
Vipulī.
Of the diverse potencies.
Of the diverse potencies.
The diverse potencies.
Tvam.
From
Tvam.
Your good self.
your good self.
Your good self.
Etad.
Etad.
This signs of Godhead.
The signs of Godhead.
This signs of Godhead.
Vipulī.
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 Expand.
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 Kuru.
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 Do it.
Do it.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnavrinda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada.
Jai Śrīla Prabhupada.
Translation, please repeat behind me. O Narada,
O Narada,
this signs of Godhead,
The signs of Godhead.
this signs of Godhead,
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam,
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam,
was spoken to me
Was spoken to
was
me.
spoken to me
in summary
In
summary
by the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
by the Supreme
by
Personality.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
and it was spoken
Was spoken
and it was spoken
as the accumulation
as the accumulation
as the accumulation
of His diverse potencies.
of his diverse
of his diverse potencies.
Please expand these signs yourself.
expand.
Please expand this signs yourself.
Purport. The Bhagavatam is a nutshell spoken by the personality of Godhead in about half a dozen verses, which will appear ahead in the signs of God. And it is the potent representation of the personality of Godhead. He, being absolute, is non-different from the signs of God. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Brahmaji received the signs of Godhead from the Lord directly, and he handed over the same to Narada, who is his turn ordered Śrīla Vyāsadeva to expand it. So, the transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord is not mental speculation by the mundane wranglers, but is uncontaminated, eternal, perfect knowledge beyond the jurisdiction of material modes. The Bhagavata Purāṇa is therefore the direct incarnation of the Lord in the form of transcendental sound. And one should receive this transcendental knowledge from the bona fide representative of the Lord in the chain of disciplic succession from the Lord to Brahmaji, from Brahmaji to Narada, from Narada to Vyasa, and Vyasadeva to Śukadeva Gosvāmī, from Śukadeva Gosvāmī to Sūta Gosvāmī. The ripened fruit of the Vedic tree drops from one hand to another without being broken by falling suddenly from a high branch down to the earth. Therefore, unless one hears the signs of the Godhead from the bona fide representative of the disciplic succession, as above mentioned, for one to understand the theme of the signs of Godhead will be a difficult job. It should never be heard from the professional Bhagavatam reciters who earn their livelihood by gratifying the sins of the audience. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalake Chakshurunidam Yana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavad Pashasha Desha Tarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So from today's sloka, we can understand the discussion is happening between Brahma and Narada. And this is the discussion where Brahmaji is giving the Bhagavatam knowledge to Narada. Brahma is impart the knowledge of Bhagavatam to Narada. Actually, discussion is happening between Śukadeva Gosvāmī and Parikshit Maharaj. That is the original Bhagavatam. And that Bhagavatam, where Śukadeva Gosvāmī got from Vyāsadeva. Vyāsadeva from Narada he got. So from Narada from where he got? He got from Brahmaji. And here Brahma is confirming that I got this summary of this Bhagavatam from the Lord himself. So, and it is expanded by, he wanted to expand that Bhagavatam because initially there are 4 slokas only for the Bhagavatam. There are Chatur Shloki Bhagavata. It is there. In that, only 4 slokas that given by the Lord to Brahma. So that 4 sloka, later it had expanded. It became 18,000 slokas when it come through the disciplic succession. So he gave this to Narada to expand. Narada expanded and gave it to Vyasadeva to expand. So the Vyasadeva, he expanded to 18,000 slokas and combined with various pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, that's why it is called the ripened fruit. So if there is a ripened fruit in a mango tree, or if you see the mango tree, if there is a ripened fruit in the top, so it is very fully ripened. If you touch, it will open. Like that, it is ripened. So if you fell down from the top, what will happen? It will fall down in the earth. It will happen. It will broke. And but the Bhagavatam also similar way, it's a ripened fruit, but it is not directly fall down from the spiritual world from the Supreme Lord to the earth. They are not directly. It is came through disciplic succession. Like there are some 20 people are there in the tree, mango tree. The person who is plucking the ripened mango is very safely is giving to the other hand. It is coming to hand by hand, and finally it is reaching the earth who is there in the land. That person is getting the Bhagavatam. So there is no change. The same fruit, it is coming very carefully. It is transferred from one hand to another hand. It is reached to us also. Today also we are discussing the same thing. Actually, the 4 slokas Satyashloki Bhagavata initially provided by the Supreme Lord to Brahma. It is millions of years back. That means the same knowledge we are getting today also. It is expanded by Śrīla Vyāsadeva. So and also in this sloka, in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that it should never hear this kind of Bhagavatam from the professional Bhagavatam reciters. There are so many professional Bhagavatam reciters are there. If you hear from them, it will be very nectarian. They will speak like a more than a devotee. They will discuss this Bhagavatam and they will make the people who are hearing, gratify their senses. Actually, Bhagavatam, it is not to gratify our senses. Bhagavatam, it is to purify our senses. So if you hear this from a devotee, then the purification will happen. If you hear from the professional reciters who are just reciting this Bhagavatam just for the livelihood, just for the money, then our senses only gratify, but finally, we'll enjoy, we'll dance, we'll do all those things, but finally, nothing will go to our brain. So we should get the Bhagavatam from the, you should not hear from the professional reciters, you should be heard from the person who is coming in the disciplined succession. So that is the way Prabhupada is confirming that. Prabhupada is also stressing this point. We should hear from the person Bhagavata. So there are two things, person Bhagavata and book Bhagavata. Who is the person Bhagavata? Who understand the science of Godhead, who know the book of knowledge, who has the knowledge of the book of Bhagavata, that person also as good as the Bhagavatam. That's the reason we are calling that person as a person Bhagavata. And the book, it is book Bhagavata, it has the complete knowledge. That's the reason that book is called Bhagavatam. And this knowledge, it came from the knowledge provided by the Supreme Lord to the original source of this knowledge is Supreme Lord and his activities. So there is no difference between, because Lord is there in the form of sound, there is no difference between the Lord and book Bhagavata. So when there is the book Bhagavata knowledge is there with the person Bhagavata, there is no difference between the person Bhagavata, book Bhagavata, and the Supreme Lord. All are identical. So that is the reason the person Bhagavata also, we need to give the respect, whatever we are giving to the Supreme Lord. The same way we need to treat that the person Bhagavata also. Like the pure devotees of the Lord, they are all person Bhagavatas. So we have to treat them as good as a Supreme Lord. They are not a Supreme Lord, but we need to treat them as good as Supreme Lord because they have the original knowledge. They are keeping the Supreme Lord in their heart. That is the reason we need to treat them as a person Bhagavata. So what will happen if you are associated with such person Bhagavata? Automatically, see, if you are, suppose we saw some few years back, coronavirus. So if you go and associate with the person coronavirus, what will happen? We will also get that disease. The similar way, when we are associating with the person Bhagavata, we will also automatically, get into the path of bhakti, and we will also get into the person, we will becoming a person Bhagavata. So the association of person Bhagavata, it is a topmost in this world. And also we will see a couple of references in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam itself, how it is described about the glories of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.2.8, in the sloka, it is mentioned, Dharmaha Shvanusittaha Pumsam Vikshvakshena Katasuyaha Notpadayat Yadi Rayatim Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam. So here, what is explained here, the occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for a message of the personality of Godhead. we are all doing so much of activities in this material world for our livelihood. From morning to evening, somebody late night, we are working. If working is fine because we have to sustain this material world. Apart from that work, along with that work, if we are not using our time for not get attracted by the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we are not hearing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam enoughly, what is happening? All the labors, whatever we are doing, it is all useless. That's what he is saying. Animals are having the daily morning to evening, they are running here and there. They wanted to safeguard their themselves. Also, they want to search the food and water. They are doing that. They are running for food and water. So if we are also doing for the food and shelter, entire day, if we are spending for that, if we are not spending enough time for this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is the useless labor that is specified in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam itself. And In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.5.10, it is mentioned, Nāyat vasachitra padam harer yasho jahat pavitram prakritnita karhi ched tatvayasam tirtam usanti manasam nayatra hamsa niramanti usik shayaham. So here in this sloka, it is mentioned, those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So here also, it is mentioned the glories of the Bhagavatam. What is the glories of the Bhagavatam? If you are not described, whatever the words we are speaking, whatever words we are hearing, if it is not enoughly describing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are simply we are talking about the mundane things like politics, sports, and cinema. If you are spending our time, if you are speaking about them only, what will happen? It will consider as a saintly person who likely unto the place of pilgrimage for crows. What is the pilgrimage for crows? Crows, where we can see the crows, where pilgrimage in the sense, the place where we are assembling. So we are going to the pilgrimage in the sense, wherever the holy places are there, that is called pilgrimages. So what is the holy place? What is the pilgrimage for the crows? Wherever the garbage is there the crows will assemble and they will fight each other. They will eat whatever they are available in the garbage. So that is the pilgrimage of crows. So if you are speaking about the mundane activities only, mundane things only, then that's whatever we are speaking, that is like a pilgrimage of crows only. It is not benefited to anybody. So what will happen if it is and if your pilgrimage of crows means wherever we are talking about the mundane activities like cinema, sports, and politics. So the person who is taking pleasure there, they are like as good as a crow only. The crow is taking the pleasure in the garbage. Similarly, the person who is speaking about cinema, sports, and politics, they are taking the pleasure. That is also, there is no difference between them, and they are missing the nectar actually. The pleasure, what is the original pleasure? When our soul will feel the original pleasure, when we are talking, when we are enoughly hearing, when we are talking about the Supreme Lord, that pleasure is the nectarian. But unfortunately, in the material world, most of the people are taking pleasure from like the crows. They are taking pleasure from the mundane things only. So this is also, it is mentioned in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that we have to associate the person we have to associate with that also. And what we need to speak enoughly, we have to speak to other person about the Supreme Lord only. Glorify the Supreme Lord. Glories of the Supreme Lord. There are 18,000 slokas are there in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata. There are so many Purāṇa, Vishnu Purāṇa. There are so many Purāṇa. There are so many Puranas are there to glorify the Supreme Lord. Take something and speak about that. And there are about the Acharyas, Alvars. There are so many people out there. If you speak about them, then our life will be perfect, and we will also get into that. We will also become a Bhagavata. We are also one step near to the Supreme Lord. So that is why it is specified. We should not take pleasure on the mundane things, because mundane things pleasure is kind of waste of time, and we don't have much time to spend in this material world. And also in the another sloka in 1.2.17, this is also a very famous sloka. Shranvatam sva tataha Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha vidhi antagasto hi abhatrani vidonoti shrutstatsatam. So here also Krishna, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses their desires for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtues when properly heard and chanted. So his Lord is sitting as a Paramatma in everyone's heart. So what will happen? He is the benefactor of the truthful devotees, cleanses desire from material enjoyment. So what will happen? So when we are hearing the message of the heart, when we are hearing about the Supreme Lord activities, transcendental activities, what will happen? Our heart will be purified from the material enjoyment. So we won't we won't enjoy the material things after that, after hearing the pleasure, after hearing the message about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what will happen? So it will develop the urge to hear his messages. So if you are hearing about the glories of the Supreme Lord, what will happen? It will more and more we want to hear. It is never ending. There is Tamil there is a word when the Lord is mentioned as Ara Amudan. Ara Amudan. Amudam means nectar. Ara Amudan. So suppose we are taking the sweet globe jamun. So if you are taking the globe jamun, the bottle of globe jamuns are there, maybe 1,000 pieces. At a time, if you take the 1,000 pieces, is it possible to take the 1,000 pieces? It is not possible, because if you take 4 or 5, after that your body will react. Okay, it is enough. More sweet we cannot eat. Maybe 5, 10, 15. That's all. Beyond that, we cannot eat. We will vomit. That is, even though that is sweet, there is a limit is there in the material thing. But the nectar, whatever we are hearing, whatever we are seeing, whatever we are speaking about the Supreme Lord, there is no limit for that. So that is also compared with the nectar. So the nectar, what the nectar will do? The nectar will give the long life, longevity. So the demigods, the devas and asuras, they fought for the nectar. Finally, the Lord gave those nectars to the demigods. Why it gave the demigods? Because they are under the Supreme Lord's control, and also they are working for the Supreme Lord. That is the reason the nectar given to the demigods is not to the asuras. So in the same thing, this Lord's message also, it's a nectar. It should not go to the mundane people, the non-devotees, or atheistic people, because they will just take pleasure on speaking about the negative things, negative way, to take the message in the negative way, and they will just waste that time, and they will get the more they will do more aparadhas. That is the reason you should speak within among the devotees. And if you are speaking within among the devotees, after drinking the nectar, what happened? The life of the Devi Devatas increase. The similar way, after hitting this nectar, what will happen? Our connection with the Supreme Lord, that will increase. So that's why it should be heard and chanted. So chanting in the sense is not only chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra chanting is fine, and along with this, chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord, that is also very much important. So today's sloka, we discussed that there are the message of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is coming from Supreme Lord himself to Brahma. Brahma gave this to Narada. Narada gives to Vyāsadeva. Vyāsadeva gave the same knowledge to Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Śukadeva Gosvāmī gave this to Parikshit Maharaj. During that Samadhan, during the discussion, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, Parikshit Maharaj discussion, Sūta Gosvāmī also was there. And Sūta Gosvāmī again is assembling in the Naimisharanya. There within the assembled devotees, he was Naimisharanya the devotees, he was speaking the same Bhagavatam. So even it came from the Supreme Lord, and till us, currently today also we are discussing the same Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There is no change in that, because it came from the Supreme Lord, and it came through the disciplic succession. So nobody wanted to take the credit, because it came from the Supreme Lord. Because if we can see that, it came from the Supreme Lord, Brahma could have said that, okay, I am giving this Bhagavatam to you. And he could have told that this Bhagavatam spoke about me only. But he didn't take the credit, because he that Supreme Lord is there, and he need to be glorified. And Narada could have told that, okay, I am bringing this knowledge. This is my knowledge. I giving the knowledge to all. No, he said that I got from my father. My father got from the Supreme Lord. Similarly, Vyāsadeva, he is not taking the credit. I have this knowledge, I am compiling. He's saying that I got this knowledge from Narada. I am just Narada's advice, I am compiling this. And Śukadeva Gosvāmī also, he is not taking the credit. I got this knowledge from Vyāsadeva is saying. So like that, nobody is taking the credit. They are just releasing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. They are merged with Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That's the reason they are all the pure devotees of the Supreme. We are calling them as the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord because they didn't want to take any credit. They just wanted to release the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is more releasable. So that is it. Because in other mundane instructions, if you get from the Lord in the other religion, there are the instructions from the Supreme Lord. They also got the instructions. Okay, you need to be sit in this way, in this direction, and close your eyes, close your ears. You should not do this. You should do this. All those do's and don'ts they provided, and they are thinking that they are okay. That is the biggest thing in their life. But in our Sanatana Dharma, there is a discussion between the Lord and his devotees. Everything is the question and answer. If you see all the scriptures, it is question and answer only. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all the things are somebody asks the questions, all the Puranas, somebody asks the questions and other person and give the answer to that. And Brahma Narada discussion, so Śukadeva Gosvāmī, Parishit Maharaj discussion, Sūta Gosvāmī and Naimisharanya devotees discussion. So all are discussion, somebody asking the question and somebody providing the knowledge, referring this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the Śrīmad, that's the reason the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is that's why it is called nectar. It is a ripened fruit. It is fall from the Supreme Lord himself, hands himself, Supreme Lord, lotus mouth itself. So that is the reason the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Śrīmad-Bhagavad, it is more sanctified than the Ganges. So we are saying that people go to the Ganges, Ganga, they will take a dip. They are saying that if you dip on the Ganga, what will happen? You will be purified. So taking the bath in the Ganga, it is purified. That is correct. But more than the Ganga, this Śrīmad, if you take the dip on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, it will sanctify us 1,000 times than Ganga. So why? Because Ganges is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. And this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita, it came through the lotus mouth of the Lord. And we are in the Śrīmad-Bhagavad Gita fully from the lotus mouth of the Lord. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is also coming from the lotus mouth of the Lord. And it is added by, and it is enhanced by, and the activities of the Supreme Lord by his pure devotees. So it is more nectarian and it will give more benefit than dip in the Ganga. 1,000 times, if you read one time, it is equal to 1,000 times taking bath in the Gangas. So that is the reason we should read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is not only just read, it should be a study. And study means we have to, how we are, for examination, we are studying some newspaper, we will say newspaper reading. Nobody say newspaper study. Newspaper we will read and we will forget the message. Maybe which are important, we will take it. Which are more mindful, we will take it in our mind. Otherwise, we will just read it, we will leave it. But for examination, what we will do? Because examination, it should be, we should remember that. So we will study that. That's why it's called studies. For degree, we are studying MBBS, engineering, we are studying, that is studies. Why it is studies? We are also studying the books. But that means we are memorizing that, we are applying in our life. That's why it is called study. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also needs to be studied and it will be applied in our life so that we will get the benefit, same benefit, whatever the pure devotees get, and we can release the nectar as thus them or how the pure devotees release the nectar. Hare Krishna. Randaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai.
Jai.